Got out on the wrong side of the bed this morning? I think I did. You know those days where you're just like, like it's kind of everything's just a little bit irritating. I mean, maybe it's the time of the month. That's a good excuse. Maybe it's that, this person said they would do this thing and then they didn't do that thing. Maybe it's because it's raining and you wanted it to be sunny. But you kind of have that icky feeling, and one little icky feeling leads to another, Well, if you can relate to this, if you kind of know what it feels like to get out on the wrong side of the bed, then listen up, because this could be a really interesting thing to know. Sound good? Hi, I'm Kylie Ansett. I'm the Alignment Whisperer, and I help you get into alignment with your inner wisdom. You know that voice inside that has all the knowledge, that has all the answers? If you don't know it, then my role is to help you reconnect with it, because we all have it, all of us. And it's there to help you live a life of purpose. So I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and this is your daily dose of alignment. Okay, so wrong side of the bed, cut out your homework, traffic is just annoying, the sun's not shining, all of those things. It was one of those days for me today. There was several things. Someone said they would do something that they didn't, that they promised that they would. Someone did something that really put me out of inconvenienced me. Someone did something else that kind of just got in the way of plans that I had. And I was rapidly starting to go down a certain path. Now, it's really interesting, because when I am, when it's all rainbows and and sunshine, hang on, it's never rainbows and sunshine, it's usually rainbows and rain. But anyway, you know what I mean. When it's all sunshine and tulips, it's kind of pretty easy for me to keep on an even keel and to be quite positive. But when spanners get thrown in works, that's when I find very quickly old habits, old patterns, old stories start going on in my brain. The old ones, I say they're old because I'm quite in the habit of not practicing them, but they're still very familiar. And they get trotted out whenever I have those get out of the bed on the wrong side of the bed days. And, quickly, I found myself today, I'm like, wow, I haven't kind of played this little story in my head for ages that I used to play in my head a lot. And here it is, doing its little circles, doing its little round. I think it was while I was having a shower, and then while I was making breakfast, and and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Now that's the difference, because it's catching it, right? It's not to say that we're never going to have these irritating thoughts. It's certainly never to say we're not going to have these irritating situations. I mean, hey, people are people, and they're bound to get up your nose occasionally. So what I'm noticing is the difference is how quickly I am going, hang on, no, this isn't that's not feeling good now. And the thing is that we all have the power. We have the power. You have the power. I have the power. We have the power to decide how we're going to react. So I had been thinking about this situation where several things had been not happening how I wanted them to. Or, they had happened in a way that was not working for me. Or they hadn't happened. All of that, all of the above. This is me trying to do my hair. It's not working. Okay, I should just pull out. I've got the kind of hair that you cannot use pins in because it's just so slippery. So it's coming out. There we go. So much for that. Okay, so what happened is I realized that I was already feeling a little bit irritated. There we go, just a little hair tutorial going on there. Bobby pins, be gone. So I already had these thoughts. I knew this was happening because this situation had happened. So I kind of knew I was already getting a little bit irritated, and I was like, okay, now I could say this, I could react in this way, and I was trying, I was efforting. Here's the difference. This was a bit of an aha for me. I was efforting myself into alignment. I was aware that in the past those things would have given me a great cause for being pissed off. And so I was conscious that that was potentially going to happen, and I was sort of playing the scenarios out in my head and thinking, okay, now if I said this instead of that, or I could talk about it this way. But what I was still trying to do was control the situation. I still wanted a certain outcome from this other person or these other people or these situations. I was still requiring their change to be the thing that, like soothed me, that was the cause of my happiness. And I was like, well, if I say it like this, that won't be too confrontational. And if I so I was still trying to control it. So what I ended up doing is, I played those scenes out in my head a few times, but then that was when I caught myself later on going down the pathways. Now, I hope you know what I mean when I say I'm talking about playing the old stories, the old kind of negative stories, which didn't have anything to do with the situation, but were, your little pet peeves that you take out and dust off and polish up and look at and reiterate. And I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So what happened was, once I became aware of that, I stopped playing the pet peeves. I stopped the da-da-da-das. I stopped that. That was one. And then I actually, because I stopped that, now I'm kind of talking myself through this, like working out what do they call it? I'm reverse engineering how this did kind of happen. So by catching myself doing the old, hamster wheel of negativity, I stopped that vibration in its tracks. And that was powerful because that was a strong vibration. That was an old vibration. That was a well-worn vibration. So it had a lot of potential momentum behind it. I hadn't got the momentum going. It had only been, it was quite short that I caught myself at it. But it would have been an easy and very comfortable pair of old slippers to put on and start, telling that story. So I caught it early on. That was one. So I caught it early on and stopped it. Was like, I don't need this. Now, then I actually just stopped thinking about the litany of things that, I want this to change, and why didn't that happen, and couldn't this happen, and blah, 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 and, how will I address this? I just stopped thinking about them, probably because I'd stopped the momentum on the other things. So I stopped that going, and then I just went about my day. And what happened is it shifted the whole, I kind of suddenly realized, like as if I don't know this, but I was like, well, I don't have to feel annoyed. That's a choice. Do I want to feel annoyed about this situation or not? And it's like, well, actually, no, I don't want to feel annoyed. I don't like feeling annoyed. So I stopped feeling annoyed, and it was as simple as that. Like, I know I'm probably, it seems like, it seems too simplistic, but it's not. It's not. I was trying to shift I was forcing the alignment. You can't do that. It's a letting go. It's a non-efforting. It's a non-efforting. Wow, it's such a beautiful feeling. The non-efforting, you just let go of other people having to perform in a certain way to be the cause of your annoyance or lack thereof. And, that's kind of the key. So anyway, I just wanted to share, I did have a very good opportunity to practice that today. Thank you, people who in my life who know how to press those buttons. Thank you. Only because, like I said, when it's all sunshine and roses and tiptoe through the tulips, it is pretty easy to stay in alignment in those situations, which is great. Not knocking it. But yes, it is very interesting. So anyway, that was my little story for today. I hope it gave you food for thought, and maybe you can take some of those ideas or concepts into your day and put them into practice. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's anything you want to add to that, or if you've been like, yeah, I've done that before, or that's been me before, let me know. I always love to hear what you have to say and what your feedback on this is. So thank you so much for playing with me in this alignment sandbox, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.